Welcome back. You're with Joseph Talbot, real estate broker and property management in beautiful southern Georgian Bay area in Ontario. Welcome. Today we're going to talk to you about the benefits and pitfalls of being a landlord. Some things that you need to think about is, are you the right person? Is it a good idea? For the wrong person, it can be a bad idea, and you'd be better to invest your money in something else. There's a lot to think about when it comes to buying or converting a rental property. A good thing is to think small first. Think of buying a single family home with the ability to put in an accessory apartment. That way you can divide up the income or the expenses on the property. Also remember that when it comes to financing, it can be a little bit difficult to secure financing for rental properties. The rules are a little different than buying a single family home for yourself. Also remember, the more money you put into it, the less your expenses are going to be per month. So if you have a vacancy in your property, at least you know you're going to be able to cover it. You don't want to max yourself out. Just a bad idea. You want to know that you can cover all your expenses. Some of the things that you're going to consider in your expenses are things like your mortgage payment, your taxes, insurance on the property. And there's other fees too. Sometimes there's common element fees if you buy in like some subdivisions or in a land lease environment. You want to make sure that you know all your expenses at the end of the day. Other things that you need to think about is there is now, as of April 2018, there is a mandatory Ontario government lease. That lease does not cover all aspects of renting, so it might be a good idea if you have an amendment a schedule to go with that a rental agreement. That way you and your tenants know exactly what's what. You want to know all your responsibilities and all the rights of both you and your tenant. Another thing is, check out the Landlord and Tenant Board website. There's a lot of good information there. It helps you understand renting a little bit better, and all the proper forms are there if in the event you need to evict a tenant for one reason or another. And an eviction isn't always a bad thing. It could be you've just sold the property, or maybe you need to move into the property. So just take a good look at that. A couple more things to think about is when it comes time to selling the property, you need to remember, if it's a second home that you own and it's not your primary residence, now capital gains come into effect. The government always wants their cut in things. So also remember, when you purchase the property, that remember or look into and investigate with your accountant and your lawyer to decide the best way to register that property, because you may want to put it in your name, a family member's name, you may want to put it in the corporation's name, but just know, as soon as you buy a second property and it's going to be an investment property, now it's an income. So you really, that comes into effect in paying taxes on that income. But there are other expenses that go with it to write it off, so make sure you talk to your accountant. Another thing is when it comes time to selling it, yeah, you do have capital gains, but if you register in a corporation name, that also triggers other tax implications. So be sure, really talk to your lawyer what the best way is to put that property in registration. Also remember that it's a good idea to buy a rental property that is close to you to start with, because if you buy one that's far away, you're going to be paying somebody to be on standby if you need to fix something. If you can fix things yourself, that's much better. You'll save money. However, make sure you limit your liability. So if there's some major electrical problems or things that need to be dealt with, hire an electrician, one who's licensed. They know what they're doing. The other thing is consider hiring a property management company, and we can certainly help you with that, because then they're the ones that are on call 24/7, not you. They take care of it, and that's what you pay them for. So these are just a few things to think about. Also remember, when it comes time to getting that tenant, make sure you use your gut instinct. Don't just rent to the first tenant that comes along, because it may not be the right tenant. It might be, because there's a lot of really good tenants out there, but there's a few that slip through the cracks, and you want to make sure you get the right one, because if you have to evict a tenant, that can cost a lot of money. It can cost you a lot more than just leaving it vacant for a couple of extra months. So make sure, And that's where we come into play too, is we can help you screen your tenants and find the right tenant for that property. Not all tenants suit a property. So make sure you look into that. Also, yeah, so we talked about ownership and taxability, all that good stuff. So now you've got some information. Be sure to check out the written blog that goes with that. Check out our blog. And then if you have any questions whatsoever, we're happy to help you out. And welcome to the rental business. Welcome to being a landlord. Wish you all the best. If you have any questions, by all means, get a hold of us. All the information is below there. And have yourself a fantastic day. Make it a good one. Take care.